You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. This is Damien from the Learn English Through Football podcast team, and I am based here in London the day after the English FA Cup final, which saw Manchester City beat Chelsea to complete a domestic cup double. Now, it's just me today, as Damon, the other member of the Learn English Through Football podcast team, is busy in Tokyo. We have been talking about the business end of the season in recent weeks. So, in addition to City winning the FA Cup, we have also seen Celtic beat Hearts in a winner-takes-all game to win their 56th Scottish title. What a pity for Hearts, who have not won the league in over 60 years. But what drama there was at the end of that game. Barcelona won El Clasico last week. They had already won their 29th league title with 3 games remaining in the season. Inter won the double in Italy after defeating Lazio in the Coppa Italia final this week, while Bayern Munich and Porto have also wrapped up the title in recent weeks in Germany and Portugal. Oh, and don't forget, PSG beat Lens to win the French title as well.
Bạn đang nghe languagecaster.com.
Let's take a look at what we will cover in today's show. First up, we will look at the phrase domestic double after City's FA Cup win yesterday. And after that, we will look at some of the language that emerged from that FA Cup final, including words and phrases to describe the winning goal. We will then look at a couple of Premier League games and try and predict the results, including one that affects the relegation battle in England.
Je luistert naar languagecaster.com.
Right, let's start with a phrase that was used quite a lot yesterday in England after the FA Cup final win for Manchester City. Domestic double. We know that double refers to something to do with 2 different parts or to have twice as much of something. So sometimes if a player scores 2 goals, we can say that they have a double or a brace. To do the double over another team means to beat a team twice in the same season, while to double a team's advantage in the table is to increase their lead in the league from 1 to 2 or 2 to 4 points. A domestic double is when a team wins 2 competitions in their own country, and this is usually the league and the cup. But England has 3 domestic competitions: the Premier League title, the FA Cup, and the League Cup or the Carabao Cup. Manchester City this season have won the Carabao Cup against Arsenal and the FA Cup against Chelsea, so they have won the domestic double. But as they have not won the league, we can adjust it slightly to say that they have won the domestic cup double. Of course, City still have a chance to win the Premier League, so they could win a treble, and that, of course, is 3 different trophies.
Vous écoutez languagecaster.com.
Okay, what language do you think that was in? And we will have more messages or stingers in different languages throughout the show explaining who we are. So it would be great if you could send us a message like that saying you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast in your language. Or maybe you could add your name and which team you support as well. It's up to you. But we'd be really happy to hear from you. Just send it on to contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com.
Właśnie słuchasz languagecaster.com.
Right, next up we are going to take a look at some of the language to describe the FA Cup winning goal yesterday. So, Antoine Semenyo from Manchester City scored the winning goal in this season's FA Cup final. For many, it was the best moment or highlight of the game, which had been rather boring until then. Many newspapers and TV pundits use the word flick to describe the goal. A flick in football refers to a soft touch with either the foot or the head to redirect the ball or divert the ball in a different direction. And we have explained the phrase flick on before, and this means to move on the ball in a slight or indirect way, maybe with a back heel, a touch with the foot, or a glancing header. So, to score a goal with a flick suggests that the player has redirected the ball into the net. And in this game, Semenyo scored with a flick. He finished with a flick, a flicked finish. So he was being marked tightly by the Chelsea defender, and the pass from his teammate Erling Haaland was a little behind him, but he was still able to divert the ball into the net by flicking it with his foot. It was an amazing goal or finish, and so we can say that he scored with a flicked finish. Here are a couple of examples from the press afterwards. The first one is from The Guardian. When the ball came, it was also a little bit behind him. No matter, Semenyo let his instincts take over, and the result was a scintillating flick with his trailing leg that diverted the ball perfectly into the far corner. Scintillating here means something really special. Here's the second one from the BBC. Semenyo met on the run with a perfect right foot flick across Chelsea keeper Sanchez. So well done to Manchester City's Antoine Semenyo for his brilliant goal, his brilliant flicked finish.
지금 여러분은 languagecast.com을 듣고 계십니다.
Okay, it's time for our predictions. Just 2 today, and both from the Premier League. Okay, Newcastle versus West Ham. Right, this game is very much to do with the relegation battle in England, as West Ham travel to Newcastle, and the home side have very little to play for. But West Ham will be hoping for 3 points to move out of the bottom 3. Now, as a Spurs fan, I am hoping that Newcastle win this so that West Ham do not leapfrog us out of the relegation zone and into safety. But I'm not sure this will happen. I think West Ham will get something from this game and put more pressure on my team Tottenham. 2-1 to West Ham. Arsenal versus Burnley. So on Monday, Arsenal host already relegated Burnley, and this should be an easy victory for the title-chasing Gunners. I am going for a 3-0 home win.
Ακούτε languagecaster.com.
What did you think of those predictions? Do you think West Ham will get something from their game? How about the Arsenal game? What are you going for? And don't forget to come along to any of our social media sites. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and many more.
languagecaster.com.
And don't forget that if you want to get in contact with us with a football language question or you have a comment on our show, then we'd love to hear from you. You can do this by coming along to our forum, or you can write to us at contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com. And if you come along to our website, you can check out our huge glossary of football terms, expressions, phrases, and cliches about the beautiful game of football. Make sure that you give us a like on your favorite podcast or social media platform. And please tell all your friends about us. We really appreciate your support. Thank you indeed.
languagecaster.com.
Yes, that message was in Welsh. And were you able to recognize any of the other languages from the show? Remember that the stingers say, you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast, or Languagecaster, as we used to be known. First up, we had Vietnamese. Then we heard Dutch, French, Greek, Korean, and Bemba from Zambia. So well done if you recognize any of those languages. And as we said before, we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to record one in any language that you know.
You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast.
Thank you everyone again for listening. This week we have looked at the phrase to do the domestic cup double after Manchester City's win at Wembley. We also explained the phrase flicked finish after the winning goal from Antoine Semenyo. Do you know any other words or phrases that also explain this kind of goal? And how about in another language that you know? Enjoy all the football this week. The Europa League final takes place, as well as some huge matches at the top and the bottom of the Premier League. See you early next week when we will have another football expression. Until then, bye-bye.